Hey guys, just letting you guys know I did the first two books of the series in another video. These are books 3 and 4, so I hope you enjoy. Now we're on to book 3, Unbelievable. The back is Emily's been shipped off to Iowa to live with her uber conservative cousins. Arya's boyfriend is behind bars because of her. Spencer is afraid she was involved in Allison's murder, but Hannah's fate is far worse. She's clinging to life in a hospital because she knew too much. If these girls don't start listening to me, Hannah's going to look like the lucky one. So we start with another flashback of Allison, and this time it's in 7th grade. Arya is filming all her friends, kind of giving fake interviews. So it's alluding to when Ian used to take videos of the girls. This was Arya. On video, you see Allison smiling and texting someone, but she won't say who it is. Then Melissa's then boyfriend, Ian Thomas, comes in and starts flirting with Allison on camera. So then we're in present day and we're starting with Spencer. Spencer's parents make her see a therapist because obviously she has a problem stealing Melissa's boyfriend, and it actually kind of helps her. Spencer's family finds out that the paper Spencer stole from Melissa is nominated for a Golden Orchid Award, which is this huge prestigious award. This kind of bonds Spencer's family again a little. Her mother sets up a huge interview with the paper, but Spencer can't enjoy this because why? A tells Spencer that she better be at Emily's swim meet or else everyone will know about her stolen paper. We'll get to that in Emily's story arc. Back in therapy, Spencer is like put under hypnosis by her therapist, and she starts remembering flashbacks of the night Allison disappeared. And one memory she has specifically is fighting with Allison because Allison thinks Spencer read her diary. This flashback is like kind of ominous and violent at the end, so Spencer starts thinking she actually killed Allison. Eventually in the book, of course, Melissa finds out that Spencer stole her paper. They get in a huge fight where Spencer pushes Melissa down the stairs and she has to be taken to the hospital. And while she's doing this, this triggers another memory from the night Allison disappeared, and it's of Spencer pushing Allie to the ground. As the flashback goes on, she realizes they weren't fighting over a diary, they were fighting over Ian, because Allison knew Spencer had a little crush on him, and Spencer knew that he was like flirting with Allison. So Spencer pushes Allison to the ground and she hits her head on the floor. This convinces Spencer that she killed Allison. So now we're going to Arya. Arya's family is still in shambles. She's officially started to date Sean Ackert, Hannah's ex-boyfriend. Ezra is still her teacher, and in one of these classes particularly, he's teaching the Scarlet Letter, where it's like the lady paints a red A on the mistress. So Arya's like, oh my god, that's such a good idea. Goes to college where Meredith is teaching now and paints an A on her chest in front of her class. Arya goes home and tells her mom as if her mom would be proud, and her mom is like, what is wrong with you? Get out of my house. So now Arya is homeless. Arya's venting to Sean about this, and Sean's like, oh my god, come move in with me. So now Arya's living at Sean's house. Talk about the quickest escalation you've ever seen in your life. So you know, in every episode there's a huge dance or party to go to. The party in book 3 is Mona's birthday party. So even though Arya is living at her boyfriend Sean's house and there's a birthday party that she's supposed to be at with Sean, she goes to see Ezra. They finally sleep together. Not finally as in I've been waiting for it. It is so illegal, and you'll see in this book there's actually consequences. So they're like cuddling, there's a knock on the door, it's the freaking police, and they take away Ezra in handcuffs for sleeping with a minor. Eventually Arya finds out that Sean called the police after A tipped him off that he was cheating on him with Ezra. So Sean kicks her out of the house, and now Arya's homeless again and lost both her boyfriends. Meanwhile, all over the news, these videos that Arya took in the flashback that we started the book with have been like going viral, and they've been like playing the news. So Arya's rewatching one of them, and she notices for the first time that Allison and Ian's hands touch several times and they're flirting. So she's like, oh my god, Allison and Ian were dating back then. And Arya knew, it was like a known fact, that Spencer had a crush on Ian. So now Arya starts thinking that Spencer killed Allison because she was jealous of Allison and Ian. Now Emily's storyline. So Emily and Maya secretly date again. She still wants to go public with the relationship. Emily's still not ready, but it doesn't matter because at Emily's swim meet, which remember A texted Spencer she better be at, At Emily's swim meet, the pictures of Emily and Maya kissing in the photo booth are plastered all over the gym wall. And guess who's at the swim meet? Emily's parents. And they're like, oh my god, my daughter is a lesbian. So they're like, okay, either we're shipping you off to Iowa with our conservative cousins and aunts, or you're gonna go to like gay conversion therapy. This is when Emily meets the converted fixed ex-lesbian Becca. So Becca's like, oh, it's so much better being straight. And Emily's like, but how do you control yourself around your ex? And Becca's like, oh my god, let's invite my ex and you'll see how I don't have feelings for her anymore. So Becca, her ex, and Emily go ice skating, and Emily catches Becca and her ex kissing. Obviously this conversion didn't work, and they're like, oh my god, Emily, you helped us realize that we're still gay. And Emily's like, oh my god, so I can't be fixed. This is good. I knew this is just who I am. Because of this, Emily and Maya get back together. She does not care. She's like, this is who I am. No one can change me. But unfortunately, when she gets home after this revelation, her parents have her bags packed and she's like, Emily, you're going to Iowa. So now Hannah's storyline. Because of the videotapes all over the news, Detective Wilden has been like pulling the girls in for questioning, including Hannah, which means that she's been missing all these birthday events with Mona, like her pre-birthday dinner and like all this stuff. And Mona is getting fed up because she thinks Hannah's just trying to hang out with her old friends again. So Mona ignores her all day, and then Hannah finally tracks her down at their favorite restaurant. She thinks everything's fine, and then when Hannah goes to the bathroom and comes back, Mona's gone, and the waiter, Lucas Beatty, tells her that Mona left Hannah with the check. So if you didn't catch this, Lucas is a waiter in this world. To make up for it, Hannah plans this huge birthday surprise at school, and A ends up ruining it. So Mona's like, Hannah, you're a goddamn bitch. You're uninvited to my birthday. And she also tells everyone about Hannah's bulimia and shoplifting. So Hannah's now like a school pariah. Lucas is there and ends up comforting Hannah, and they make a plan. We're gonna crash Mona's birthday party. So it's a couple weeks later, the party's coming up, and Hannah gets a gift in the mail from Mona, and it's a dress that she wants all her friends to wear to her birthday party. And so Hannah thinks this means that, oh my god, are we okay again? So Hannah puts the dress on and goes to the party, but it ends up being way too small, and Hannah thinks she gained like all this weight in like freaking 2 days, which is impossible. But the dress ends up ripping in front of everyone at the party. Lucas is there, puts his jacket over her, takes her out of there. Obviously Mona sent her like a dress size 8 times too small on purpose. We get this, right? So on their way back to their car, Hannah gets a text from A, but the twist is they forgot to hide the number. So Hannah's looking at this phone number and she's like, I know whose phone number this is. Hannah immediately texts everyone to meet at the park so she can tell everyone who A is. So she's on her way to the park and someone runs her over with a car, just like in the series. Now finally, we have book We have book 4. Flawless. Spencer stole her sister's boyfriend. Arya is brokenhearted over her English teacher. Emily likes her new friend Maya as much more than a friend. Hannah's obsession with looking flawless is making her sick, and their most horrible secret is so scandalous that the truth would ruin them forever. So book 4. This was supposed to be the final book of the whole series, and then she found out it made money, so she made like 8 more. It starts with a flashback of Allison in the 7th grade. They're basically planning the sleepover where Allison disappears. So they're like talking to Spencer, and they're like, Spencer, can we use your barn? And then Spencer's like, yeah, we'll have the sleepover in the barn. During this whole conversation, Allison is writing in this little diary. She won't tell anyone what she's writing. All of a sudden, her mother comes in and is like, Allison, can I talk to you outside for a second? So Allison leaves. The girls keep talking, and it's like only 5-10 minutes that Allison's gone, and then when she comes back, she's in different clothes and she seems a little off, but the girls are like, whatever, and they start planning the sleepover again. On their way out, Allison and the group runs into Melissa, and Allie is like taunting her a little, like, oh, you shouldn't leave Ian alone for too long, you never know who's gonna sweep him up. Spencer thinks she's like trying to tell Melissa that her and Ian kissed, but Allison's actually telling her that Ian is hers. So present day, everyone is in the hospital because Hannah got hit by a car. They find out Hannah is in a coma. So we'll start with Arya. At the hospital, Arya is like so convinced that Spencer killed Allison. She sees Detective Wilden at the hospital and she actually goes and tells Detective Wilden, hey, I think Spencer killed Allison. She says, Spencer liked Ian and Ian and Allison were dating, so Spencer killed Allison, bitch. And Detective Wilden, unlike in the show, is like, no, Spencer could not have killed Allison, but you know who that gives a motive to? Melissa. So Detective Wilden now thinks Melissa has something to do with Allison's death. And by the way, he's like, oh, by the way, Ezra got out of jail. Arya's dad eventually comes to the hospital to pick Arya up and he's like, well, since you're homeless, you're moving in with me and Meredith. The next day, Arya goes and sees Ezra, who says he's moving to Rhode Island because his teaching career is ruined from sleeping with a minor. Then at school, Mike blames Arya for her parents' divorce. He thinks Arya sent that letter because it was signed A, so Arya's forced to tell him about A. So now her brother Mike knows everything and he's like, I will protect you. Arya's dad thinks it would be good if Arya enrolled in like college classes, so she joins an art class and she's really shocked to see Jenna in that same art class. Now at this point, Arya still thinks Jenna hates them because Emily did not share that information. So Jenna tells Arya now, me and Allison planned the whole thing, I'm not mad at you. But she also says that there was someone else that night of the fire who saw the whole thing. Does she say who? No, of course not. At the end of the book, Arya's mom eventually apologizes for kicking Arya out because what? So now Arya has a choice to go live with her mom or stay with her dad and Meredith, and the huge reveal at the end that's so different from the series, Meredith reveals that she is pregnant with Arya's half-sister. Now, Spencer's storyline. So, Melissa comes home from the hospital because if we remember correctly, Spencer pushed her down the stairs. Her family is like sick of this feud. She's like, we're taking a family weekend at the beach house and you guys are gonna get along. And even though Melissa told her parents that she stole the Golden Orchid essay, they're like, Spencer, now that you stole it, you better win. So that's happening. Spencer is now at this beach house. Mona calls her, which is weird. They don't talk. So Spencer's like, hello, what the fuck do you want? And Mona's like, I want to organize a candlelight vigil for Hannah because she hasn't woken up yet. So I think it'll be good. So Spencer's like, sure, when I get back from the beach house. Now at the beach house, Spencer and Melissa start talking and Spencer's like, you know what? I'm gonna lay everything out on the table. So Spencer tells Melissa about kissing Ian. Melissa says, yeah, I knew. And I knew all about him and Allison too. And now Spencer's like, wait, she knew? Did she kill Allison? So when Spencer gets back from the beach house, she helps Mona plan the candlelight vigil. And while they're planning, Mona reveals that she has been getting texts from A. So Mona kind of joins the group and now they're all trying to figure out who A is. But in the meantime, Spencer has an interview for the Golden Orchid in New York. Now, at this point, Melissa and Ian are back together, even though Melissa said she knew all about his cheating with literal children, 7th graders, mind you. But she's like, yeah, we're back together because he's different. So they're all in New York and Melissa and her parents go out and Spencer's in her room, like preparing for her interview, and Ian comes into the room. Ian insists like, me and Allison never dated. I always preferred you. Literal child. Ian hits on her, but now Spencer and Melissa are good. So Spencer's like, hell no, I'm not jeopardizing our freaking sisterhood for you. So she actually rejects him and Ian leaves. But of course, Ian tells Melissa that Spencer hit on him, so now they're fighting again. Spencer wins the Golden Orchid, but she's like, I'm sick of the freaking lies, and she tells the truth. I stole this essay. Then at Hannah's vigil that they planned, Spencer is at the vigil and she finds an old picture of Allison and Ian like together, and on the back there's like threats written on it, and Spencer's like, that is Melissa's handwriting. So she shows all the girls and Mona's like, oh my god, you're so right, I will drive you to the police station. But for now we're gonna go to Emily. So Emily, she's been shipped off to goddamn Iowa and she arrives with her aunt and her 6 cousins that are like so religious, so conservative. Her phone is taken and she's like shoved into this room with her cousin Abby. But surprisingly, that night her cousin Abby is like, okay, me and my brothers are gonna sneak out to a party. Do you want to come? And Emily's like, I thought you were like priests. And Abby's like, no, we're pretending. Do you want to come? And Emily's like, yeah, I'll sneak out with you. So they go to a party and Emily meets this girl named Trista, even though she's kind of still dating Maya. Everyone cheats in this series. So Emily's like dancing with this girl named Trista. She's having fun. She's like, oh my god, she's kind of cute. They eventually go back home and Emily's aunt catches them, and Emily's cousins blame the entire thing on Emily. She's like, Abby's like, oh my god, Emily made me go out. And then the brothers are like, we just went to make sure that they're safe and to bring them home. So Emily's aunt is like, you are a disgrace, you're the devil. So Emily's like, I hate all of you, and she runs away to Ohio. In Ohio, Emily's at a diner, and on the news she sees that she's been identified as a missing person. She also sees her parents on TV like, Emily, I'm so sorry, we love you, please come home, we'll never send you away again. So Emily's like, oh my god, and then goes home. And back home, her mom is like, I'll try to live with the fact that you're bisexual, like we can get through this, I still love you. So Emily's like on top of the freaking world. She gets back together with Maya, but she doesn't tell Maya about Trista in Iowa. Now Emily's parents are like, let's invite Maya over for dinner, like this is us actually trying. So in the show, it's like Maya who ruins everything. No, 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 because Maya is the perfect little angel, like, oh my god, I'm finally meeting my girlfriend's parents. And Emily is on her phone all night texting Trista in Iowa. The whole night Maya's like, are you okay? Like, why are you being so weird? And she's like, nothing. So Emily goes to the bathroom, and in her purse she finds a note from A written on a little gum wrapper, and it's the same gum that Maya always chews. So now Emily's like, oh my god, is Maya A? And then of course, because this was written by a 12-year-old, sorry Sarah Shepard, Trista decides to visit Emily after meeting her at one party. So Emily takes her to Hannah's vigil, and she's like, Maya, this is my pen pal Trista from Iowa. You know that freaking 2 days I was there? Maya catches Emily and Trista kissing at Hannah's candlelight vigil. So Maya's like, bitch, you're cheating on me. And Emily's like, you're A. Maya's like, what are you talking about? What is an A? Like, I don't know anything. And Emily's like, not into Maya right now. But she goes out and finds Trista and sees Trista making out with a random dude. So Emily's like, what the fuck did I just do? Emily's the dumbest bitch of the whole series. Like, throughout the series, Emily is the dumb one. Now Hannah's been in a coma. Okay, so Hannah finally wakes up from her coma, and she doesn't remember anything, of course. So Mona visits her, and like they make up, but she doesn't tell her about like the dress prank she pulled on Hannah at the party. And Lucas was like, I wouldn't trust Mona so fast, but he doesn't like want to ruin everything, so he doesn't tell her either. And then Hannah gets a text from A, like alluding to a fight she had with Mona. So she's like, okay, Mona, just tell me what you did. So Mona does tell her, but Hannah forgives her. Lucas is like, I don't know why you're like forgiving her. And Hannah kind of pushes Lucas to the side and is like, no, I want my best friend back. Poor Hannah wakes up from a coma, and her mom's like, yeah, I'm moving to Singapore for my job, but don't worry, because your dad and her fiance and her stepsister are gonna move into the house and take care of you. And at the end of the book, so we're at Hannah's party, which Hannah is awake for, by the way. If we haven't established, she's awake for her own candlelight vigil. So Spencer found that note, and she's like, I'm going to the police, and Mona's driving her. So after Mona leaves with Spencer, Hannah has a sudden memory, and is like, oh my god, that number before I got hit by the car was Mona's. So now it's all of them. This is the ending. So Emily texts Spencer that Mona is A, and the girls call Officer Wilden and is like, Mona is like the freaking killer. She asked Spencer, she's gonna kill her. So Spencer, like in the show, secretly calls them, and she like tells them where they're going. So Mona explains like now this whole backstory, which is so different from the show. So Mona explains why she's doing all this, why she became A. She said, Mona and Jenna are friends. Mona saw the explosion and even got some burns because she was too close to the treehouse. So when Jenna told Arya that someone else had seen the explosion, it's Mona. Mona tried to tell people that Allison did it and not Toby, but no one freaking believed her. So then Mona was like, Jenna, they blinded you. And Jenna was like, Jenna obviously didn't tell Mona that that was her plan, so she's like, Mona, get away from me, and they stopped being friends. So all this time, Mona's thinking, oh my god, Allison ruined my friendship with Jenna, and all these girls know. So while Maya moves in and she's throwing out Allison's things, Mona sneaks by and steals Allison's diary from a box on the yard. And that's how she knew all the girls' secrets. So in the car, Mona's like, Spencer, join the A-team. We can like freaking mess with your friends and we can frame your sister Melissa for Allie's murder. I don't know why she thought that was a good idea, but whatever. So Spencer's like, what do you mean frame? Like, do you know who did it? And Mona starts talking about the night Allison disappeared. She said Allison wrote in her diary that she met up with Ian that night and threatened to tell Melissa about their affair if he didn't break up with Melissa for Allison. And Ian was like, hell no. So Spencer's like, oh my god, Mona thinks Ian killed Allison. So, but Spencer's like, no, I'm not joining the freaking A-team. So they fight, and they get to that cliff that you see in the show. But Spencer pushes Mona off the cliff, and unlike in the show, Mona actually dies when she falls off the cliff. So now we have Toby dead and freaking Mona dead. These are two main characters of the series that are dead in the first 4 books. So the girls finally arrive. So they arrived too late, but Spencer was like, bitch, I got it. Pushes her off a cliff. Hannah finds Mona's burner phone on the floor and snatches that up before the police can take it. Spencer tells Wilden everything Mona said and was like, she thinks Ian killed Allison. And so this leads to Ian being arrested for Allison's murder. So at the end of the book, the girls all go to Ian's trial and they hear him plead not guilty to the murder of Allison. And while they're leaving the courtroom, Emily like sees this car roll up their window and she's like, wait, that was Allison. So that's how book 4 ends. And I knew this was gonna be the end of the series because there's actually an epilogue. Like, Sarah Shepard writes that Emily finds her true love in college, Spencer becomes a newspaper editor, Hannah marries a billionaire, and Arya lives with Ezra in Europe. But then she just wrote like 12 more books because I guess they got picked up for the show. She should have stopped here. I'm telling you right now, she should have stopped here, and I'll get into that in books 5 through 8. Let me know if you enjoyed this series. Let me know if it made sense because there's a lot of names flying around. See you next time.